How's it going, YouTube? What's up? So, in a second here, we're going to switch over to a lesson with Leo. Let me just switch the scene and open up the Zoom and whatnot. Hey, we got Skittles in the chat. What's up, everybody? Yo, all right. Leo should be live now. Skittles, if you can see it, let us know. Dude, how are you, man? Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Again and again.
Yeah,
But
yeah, I'm good. Yeah, it's a hectic time, but we're getting through lots of it, and I'm still playing the guitar, still loving the guitar. It's nice to be somewhat back in the little streaming YouTube ecosystem.
Totally.
How
The
have
open
you
mic
been?
was amazing last night. Thank you for joining that. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
I
was
thought
super
so
fun.
too. Super fun. I'm glad to. That's also something I'm excited to be able to get back to, is just like getting performance reps and
Absolutely.
yeah, just those little open mic vibes are always so sweet and fun.
Yeah,
So,
I don't want to take too much of your lesson time on this, but like in the last stream, I just like after partied, my own stream just now. And in the last
yeah.
one, before you were there, somebody was like, I thought it was so cool that you had that one guy who played something different, like not classical
yeah.
music. There was that one guy who sang, and
Let's
I was like,
go.
yeah, that's the vibe I want in
Yes.
this open mic. Like, I
Well,
want.
you had mentioned that before too, and it was part of what helped encourage me in my head to be like, you know what,
Please.
I'll play plenty of classical pieces on and off, but I'm kind of feeling like playing and singing something today. So
Totally.
I also think that's cool to have a variety of styles. But thanks for sharing that. I didn't know anyone had specifically
Yeah.
shouted me out.
Yeah. Just letting you know. Yeah. All right. So, what do you? I mean, I've got thoughts as a teacher.
Yes,
Of
yes.
what we could work on today, but I wanted to know if you had things that you
Oh my
really
God,
want to do.
Well, I want to specifically like give you a majority chunk of the time to be a little prescriptive and like
Okay.
give me your thoughts, because I think you have way more experience in
Uh-huh.
the learning process. So I'd love for you to guide some of that. But I do have some sort of like burning questions.
Yeah. Yeah.
That I guess I'll just like give you the quick little TLDR list right now, which is to say I'd love to talk to you at least briefly about like position
Yeah.
and nails.
Yeah.
I think in particular, though, some of those like basics things I
Uh-huh.
just skipped over a little bit too quickly, and I'm now sort of like feeling the effects of that. But anyway,
Yeah.
so position and nails. I'd love to talk to you a little bit about staff notation. Like, I don't know if we
Yeah.
need to fully dive into it just yet, but that is something I'm interested in. And then I figured we'd probably talk a little bit about Carcassi 7, but I also was maybe, last time we talked about Snowflight, I think it's called, and
Yeah.
I'd love to, I'd love to talk about Carcassi 7 with you, and then also continue to get some of your advice about like a couple of other
Completely.
little pieces to work in, and also like playing slow and
Yeah. All the
like
questions.
playing
Yeah,
with a
yeah, yeah.
metronome. And I think more than anything, like basically, I came back from not playing during this busy time, and I went back to my baseline, which was just like grinding Carcassi 7 because I love playing it, and that's super fun. But most of it is without a metronome, playing it too fast, and I'm like, I'd love to get the sort of teacher vibes, energy to be like, okay, here's what I'd like for you to work on before we meet next time. Do it slow.
Okay.
Do these basics things, and then like also if you want to play Carcassi 7, sure. But anyway, maybe just a reminder about like good warm-up technique and good like daily technical practice technique that's slower and that isn't just me like hammering Carcassi 7 too fast every day.
Awesome. Dude, I love it. Thank you for, bringing, your side of an agenda like to this meeting, because that can like set a super productive meeting in general. Okay, I feel I could deep dive on any one of those topics.
Yeah, I know.
And spend the whole time. But it's also super valuable to have like a breadth first. Just do like a little bit of everything also. So I can like, let's hit all of those. Absolutely. I'll forget because my memory's not the greatest always. So let me know if I've forgotten one of them.
Well, maybe we can start with the position and the nails.
I was going to say nails. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if we can talk nails. I
That'd be
think nails are the most annoying thing about the guitar. And you've heard me say this, I think, and the audience
Yeah.
has, but like, to me, nails, they're the equivalent of the bow on a violin, right?
Yeah.
Like, really, like, they're like what makes the sound. They're your sound production, and the quality of your nails in so many different ways affects the way that you play. But what's crazy to me that I think violinists, maybe, or like piano, these more traditional, they're known as incredibly infinitely hard instruments, and a lot of people think of guitar as an easy instrument. Classical guitar has a very high ceiling, and nails are one of the reasons, if you ask me. Because like, your nails don't care if you're getting married. Right? Like, you know, your nails don't care if you only have 30 minutes a day to practice now. Like, they're still growing, and every single day that you practice, your nails are just a little bit different than yesterday. You know, so
and I think I'm really like just entering the experience level where I can really tell the difference, and like day to day I'm just like, man, it just feels and sounds so different, and like I don't feel like I'm playing it that differently, you know?
Right. So like, to be meta for just a second, it's like, if it's okay, like, I think that a challenge as a teacher is like, I'm showing the hardcore level that I'm practicing at and that I'm studying at, and these levels of detail that I care about at my level, or, you know, Tigran's level, or somebody. But when I was at your stage, I didn't think this deeply about it. Like, it's like ignorance is bliss, kind of, in some ways. And you're just kind of like, I don't know, I just use like sandpaper. Or like, here. Let me see if it's handy. One sec. No, it's not. Like, there's here we go. Here it is. Everything over here is just scattered all over the floor, like a crazy professor vibes.
My music nook is oof.
Yeah. So this stuff, like, Strings by Mail sells it in like giant pouches, and this stuff, like, my old teacher, when I asked him, I was like, what do you use? Like, do you use like a file? I saw that there's like micro mesh and different grits. He was just like, no, just keep it simple. I just use this. And he said it in a way that sounded like battle scars or something. Like, from my experience, I went down that road and then I went back to something simpler. This stuff is awesome. I really like it. I don't use it anymore. At my level and the number of hours that I'm practicing, it is worth it to be like, you see me nails on string, or sandpaper on strings with like lots of grit levels and whatnot, to get like exactly the perfect tone.
I might not be quite there yet.
It's just not worth your time right now. Like,
I every day I'm like tweaking my position and like the nail, other things, and so I'm with you. I honestly like still don't even really know like quite how long I want to have them, because like the longer they get, the it's sort of like, it feels in some ways a little a hair easier to get the like nail on string tone, but quickly it starts becoming, it almost starts to impede, and like I can feel that a little bit too. It's like the nail sounds, I hear them more, and it's just like, dang, okay, it feels a little too long, and then I'll make it shorter, and then it's like, okay, like it feels so quick and like really quick and easy, but also the nail tone isn't quite as good. And one other thing I want to mention to you is something I feel like I've been starting to feel for the first time as like my right hand technique improves, is this feeling that I feel like I've heard people describe, where you're actually, it's not like I'm plucking completely perpendicular to it or playing. It's more like I'm almost like running across the nail, or across the string. It's like, it's almost like this sort of like sliding down the string feeling.
That's what you want.
Plucking it.
That's actually what you want.
Like that I kind of get, but the level of detail is tricky. And it also relates to the position, because I feel like part of the reason why I started to figure that out is because I've been using this sort of weird, like, very sideways position lately. and it pushed me to play even more like along the string because the more it's like this, it's like I can almost just pluck it perpendicular, but here I really had to like play along. So
all right, I feel like kind of like enthusiastic frustration, or like you've had these questions because it's been so long since that you've been away, and you're coming to a lot of these questions and whatnot, which is awesome. But I know at times I've just been straight up frustrated. So first thing, let's hit the nails and shaping first.
Okay.
I do believe now very much in the sandpaper on strings method.
Okay. I have sandpaper.
Great, but I don't know if you're using the wet or dry type of stuff with different grits. If you are, I recommend going to this stuff. It's like open coat sandpaper.
Okay.
This stuff is much simpler. What's awesome about it is you can buy a huge pack and it'll last you a lifetime for sure. Okay. And I'll also drop links like Amazon or Strings by Mail links or whatever in the Discord later. What's super cool about this stuff is that it has this open coat, and so I guess that's why it's called that. It has this material that it's like a coarser grit when you use it first, but then after you use it a bit, I don't know how well you can see this. After you use it for a bit, okay, not gonna happen. After you use it for a bit, then that wears off, and then it's like a much more smooth, polished material. Mm-hmm. So you can use the same piece of sandpaper for shaping, like with a coarser coating, and then you can use the same piece of sandpaper for polishing.
Oh wow, I hadn't even considered the two.
Yeah, they're kind of different. Things. Yeah. And so there's different strategies. Some people will use buffers and like files. Like I do really like. Now I'm starting to use like a glass nail file.
I have one of those. Yeah. I just recently got one of those, and it's really cool.
Strings by Mail, not sponsored.
It wasn't Strings by Mail, but it is like one of these glass, like it doesn't lose its grit. Type things.
It's very cool. I like these a lot, and I meant to say not sponsored yet. I would love to be sponsored. You know, I'm not just. But anyways, this stuff is really great too. Like if you do want to get accustomed to the right shape and have an intuitive understanding of the right shape of your nail, I recommend a glass file to take down a little bit of material, but then switch over. Like in some sense, the like sandpaper on strings, in my mind, is for shaping, and that, as you noted, really depends on your playing position. Yes. So we're going to split the difference between those two that you showed with that block. Because that's too flat and the other one you showed is too tall, too vertical.
Right.
So
this is how I've been playing.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that for a second, but like based as you noted.
Sorry, can I just really quick last question? Yeah. How frequently are you doing the nail care? Is that every day?
For me at my level and my level of like sensitivity, every day. But
what would you recommend for me?
For you, if it takes time, don't stress about it too much. Like, I would say check your nails. Like, maybe put like a calendar event on your calendar to like check your nails every other day or something. You know?
Okay.
Like every other day, I think would be a good time. But like, you'll see me on stream sometimes just hanging out with y'all and chatting and yapping and hanging out with you.
I need to do one of those like nail streams.
And I'm doing nails for like 30 minutes straight. And it's like, if I only have an hour, I don't want to spend half my time. I'm going to progress better as a guitarist if I... Sure. Like, I would prefer if you actually practiced the guitar instead of just working on your nails, because who cares, right? Like, and so you touched on the idea of like no nails. At your level, I would really give that a shot. And, you know, it's too late now, but like maybe next time that you have a vacation or something where you're not going to be playing guitar a whole lot anyways, like like, why are you maintaining these? And, you know, like, you kind of look weird, right? Like, some of us look weird with, like, super long nails, and if you're at, like,
how am I supposed to dap people up, bro? I keep asking this.
I know.
What's interesting, too, is, like, I actually kind of kept my nails semi-long for many years. Because at that young age, I got some of those lessons that were sort of flamenco coded, and it just, I didn't really take much away from that other than, like, how having at least a little bit long nails can help just with the tone and the sound of the guitar. So I had them semi-long for many years, which is funny. Yeah. But then I started climbing, and like when I climb, I'm at risk to break one of these.
Are you like an avid, like climber? Like
I worked at the climbing gym for like 2 years. I definitely is like a meaningful community space for me, and I'm pretty sure, especially once I have more. Like I'm have better understanding of how to care for the nails, I'll be able to do both. But I foresee some periods of no nails in my future for sure.
I was going to say I would recommend next time that you can't practice a lot of guitar, maybe work gets busy for some people or whatever. Like, it's not worth maintaining these all the time. Try no nail. I mean, I'm studying, right? Like, I'm practicing at like a semi-professional level, and so I care about the nuances of tone, and like the different colors that you can get with nails. I care about that stuff more at my level.
Can you not get that without nails?
Not as much. No, just straight up, I would say my
I kind of care about the tone and color too. Like I feel like that's fun.
Oh yeah, totally, and that can be where a lot of joy comes in from this instrument. But at what cost, right? Like if rock climbing is your passion and you used to work at a rock climbing gym, like, dude, don't let something like this get in your way. No nails is a perfectly valid option.
Yeah. I'd like to try it at some point, period. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'll also say, like, music is my number one passion right now. And as much as I love climbing, and it'll always be there to some degree, I haven't been climbing a ton lately. But I appreciate the advice, and I'll keep it in mind as I move forward. But maybe we can, if you have any more thoughts about nails, we can hit those. But I'd love to discuss position with you a little bit, just because
absolutely,
this one in particular, every day I feel, I really feel like I play like my one guiding thing is that I feel like I play Carcassi 7 best in this position. It might just be because I've been practicing it like this, you know. But
yes,
I don't know,
It is comfortable for you. It's because it's how you've been practicing it so far, and it's similar, I think, to other styles of guitar. Like
it's closer to just like.
Yeah, absolutely, and you came to this by way of like Blackbird by the Beatles or whatever, right? And like you don't play the Beatles like this, right? I would recommend, depending on your goals with the instrument, which is a big caveat, right? If you want to pursue classical guitar in itself, I would start to try to see them as different instruments completely. Cello versus violin, almost. Like, they're that different. Like, the way that you hold it, the type of, like, what's the word that I'm looking for? Technique is just extremely different. Like, playing with a pick, intuitively playing single line melodies with a pick is very different from playing multiple voices and polyphony with finger style.
I guess I thought I had seen some old videos of like older school flamenco guitarists who were playing more like this, and that also made me think like, oh, maybe I should like
it is possible.
Like this. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know enough about flamenco to be able to explain why they have a different playing style. Part of it is that a flamenco guitar is built differently. And I could be wrong, but I think that your guitar is technically a flamenco guitar, not a classical.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it is, actually, now that I think about it.
I think so. And I don't know enough. I know that they're very similar, though. It's nowhere near as similar as a nylon string classical guitar versus a acoustic steel string guitar, right? Mm-hmm. Those are much larger bodies. Yours is, like, the body is shaped a bit differently in some ways, but like, so I don't think that you can't play classical on your guitar. You don't have to get another guitar. Don't get me wrong.
Okay. But I mean, I will at some point probably.
Yeah, for classical, yeah, which is great. I'll get a flamenco guitar someday. For classical, one of the important things to talk about is like, let your elbow drop. Like, you want to like do the opposite. Like, hold your elbow completely out, you know, and then just like try to feel like you just keep it out there.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, just let it drop. And just like wait and let the gravity just like let it land somewhere. Like, you know, do it again. Like one more time. Like keep your fingers in the same spot.
Okay.
And try to just feel like you're not moving your arm. You're just like dropping a weight or something, right? Like let it fall with gravity. Yeah. That's more the feeling of kind of like relaxation. That because you're not holding tension, like you're not using those muscles in your back or shoulder or wherever it is to like hold your arm. And so if you go back to the more flat position that you had a moment ago, it's going to require you to be activating
There's more engagement out here for sure. I'm like reaching over to it. But I think maybe it's, you know what it probably is I've been playing the guitar more like this for so long that like the muscles are stronger like that, or like they're more used to doing this. And not that I want to keep doing that, but I think I'm just like, the body feels that and goes like, ooh, I'm used to this. Let's do it like this. And then when I'm here, even when I have this is part of what's strange for me is like I'm really seeking that low tension in the body feeling. Yeah. And over time, especially in the last month, I've started to be like, oh, I can really like start to seek how my whole body feels through my whole back, my shoulders while I'm playing. And this position is more foreign to me. And even when I'm like here, somehow I end up feeling like I'm having to load tension into my shoulder.
It's gonna,
you know,
it
and
feels that way. It's very uncomfortable. It's very new. Like, how weird is it? You know, this like large weird object that I'm holding between my legs, and like it all feels very uncomfortable and different, you know, and it's gonna feel uncomfortable for a while until someday it just like no longer does. Like the thing is that like there are a lot of things in guitar pedagogy, I'd say, that are like still being figured out. Like this is like a new instrument. Like violin pedagogy is like hundreds of years old, you know, and like was well studied. Lots of ink has been spilled on piano and violin and those other classical instruments. The guitar only really came into its own as a classical instrument with like Segovia, like really like in the 20th century. And that's when like pedagogy started.
I hear that name a lot.
Yeah, you gotta look him up. He's, you know, fire as hell. Yeah.
Guitar pedagogy history.
Totally. And so my point here, though, is that this is not a point of debate, I guess. Like, there is a little bit of wiggle room, I'd say. Like, a little bit, like, from, like, here, and then you'll see that some people play here. But really, if you look at any kind of method book, like, you want something that's pretty close to a 45-ish degree angle. Like,
how am I looking here?
That looks fine. That one looks better. Yeah.
So something else I've noticed, I think part of the reason why I did that is another reason is I feel like I'm having to like reach forward in front of it here. Like, should the body be closer to me? It should be. I should be reaching forward like this.
Well, no. Let's see.
Or like,
it's kind of hard to.
I'm supposed to be neutral, right? Like totally neutral. So maybe it's in between a little bit because this feels more neutral, I guess. But then I'm like having to peek forward to see the fret, kind of.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You know, I don't. I'm just gonna be straight. Completely transparent with you all the time. Like, this is the first time where I'm just like, how do I explain something like this? And especially over Zoom, it's hard to not be able to like just kind of move the guitar on your body and like try a different position, because
I've heard position is difficult, a little difficult over Zoom.
Naturally.
So no worries. And I figured it would be something that maybe we could like check in about semi-regularly, just as it develops, and it'll probably be easier for me, like you're noting, to explore it physically, personally myself.
Right.
But I've already been getting good feedback from you, which is like, look, it's even if this feels better.
Yeah.
Practice it the other way.
Yeah,
treat it like a different instrument.
Yeah. So someday I would love to do like a split pedagogy lesson with Chris on you on this specifically, because like Chris can absolutely teach this. He's taught this hundreds of times or whatever to people in person and on Zoom. He would be able to help you with this topic.
Sure.
But you're my first student really asking about this, like, to this level of detail. So,
well, I feel like you've already helped me with it.
Sure.
So I think that's enough for me to roll with for now, and then we can check back in about it in the future. And then, I don't even know if I'm, like, I probably would be able to get a ton of really good feedback from Chris, but I think, like, working with the feedback you just gave me for a month before I go and get the next level feedback from him is probably a good call anyway, so.
Could we talk about sheet music next?
Yes, please. Awesome. Oh my gosh, let's do it.
Cool, because there's a cool connecting point between the two. But the very last thing I'll say about posture is the yoga block has to go, man. Like, I like it a lot. Like, it's cool, and it works really well as a stopgap in a sense. Like, when I started with the guitar, I think I used like a shoebox or something instead of a stand.
Nice.
Like, you use what you have for a while, but like, it's just not going to give you the level of like precision of like moving, like tilting the guitar in different ways, like subtle differences. It's kind of like,
is where I've been.
You've got
that's
this
the issue.
or this.
One of the issues I've been having is because it works really well, and even I think the yoga block is good as a beginner thing in particular because I can like turn it, rotate it. I have two.
A little bit.
So, sometimes I'll have like one under my foot and one here, but I have been noticing recently like here it gets a little funky with how it supports it, and
and it's
the
flat,
only thing I'll say,
man. I mean, like,
it's flat. The only thing I'll say is it's working okay, as especially since I'm so new to posture and I'm kind of figuring it out. I'm planning to get like a specific cushion or those little things or whatever, but because I'm moving abroad in like 2 months, I'm actively trying to get rid of as much of the stuff that I have right now, and I like cannot add any items to my personal inventory. So my plan is once I move I'll have done a little like gear audit, and then I'll have all my music gear, and then I'll add a few like classical guitar upgrade things then probably in about 2 months or so.
All right, so we got half of time left. I don't want to just for setting boundaries. Like, I want to make sure that like I don't run over too often as a default. But like,
let's do staff.
I do. I mean, you're touching on such a great point right now about.
Oh, okay, sure. I'm we can
very quickly on it. I'll try to minimize my yapping, but like,
no worries.
Get a footstool. Like, they're like $10, $15 maybe. Amazon. I can get you a link. They're all equivalent. It doesn't matter which one you get, in my opinion. And I like the Dineret cushion that Steve showed you yesterday. I don't know where mine is. Otherwise, I'd show it for the audience. But like, if you like the cushion idea, that one's a great option. But for right now, dude, just start with a footstool. It's very simple. Okay. You're not going to hurt your back for using it for like...
You mean a footstool and like nothing on the leg?
Yeah. That's a traditional method.
Something I was doing for a bit was having... using the yoga block as a footstool and like being kind of here.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's just like a million optimizations and differences. And by the way, I should absolutely be shouting out, like, Guitar Lift sent me this. This thing is phenomenal, man. Like,
that's cool.
I was very hesitant about it, and I didn't like it at first, to be honest. Wow. But like, now I'm growing to love it. But there's just pros and cons, and every guitarist has strong opinions But like, there's just no clear winner. Like, all of them have different issues. And the footstool is just really great. And Skittles in the chat just said something I was going to say. Footstool is the perfect one for travel. Like, if you're moving, like, I can just throw a footstool in my backpack. You can flatten it, and it just fits in my backpack super easy. Okay. I have like a minimalist backpack, and then like I can travel with that.
I didn't realize they collapse down like that.
Yeah. So it's not gonna add any space to your moving boxes at all.
Okay, heard.
And
I'll get the footstool.
It'll be worth it compared to like developing habit right now with the block.
Right.
And then later we can talk about Dinarette and stuff. Dinarette is a complete opposite. It freaking sucks to travel with like a cushion. Yeah. It doesn't fit in your backpack. Yeah. Like it's just super hard to travel with. And then there's many other options. So okay, let's talk about sheet music and here, if the YouTube audience can forgive me for a second, don't worry, Leo will be back. I'm just pulling up the sheet music on my computer. Where is it? I should have had this better prepared, but that's fine. I don't remember. Did I send you the PDF for the Duncan method?
I think you probably did, and I may have it saved on my computer.
Okay.
I haven't looked at it.
So let's look
sorry
at
to
that.
say.
Yeah, of course. You got married. Like, I understand. So here we go. I hope you don't mind if I say that.
No. Yeah,
you say it on like your videos and whatnot.
Yeah. No, all good. I still am almost. We're doing like this multi-celebration style thing where it's just like.
Yeah. That's so cool. Yeah. Man, congratulations again.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm hitting a bug. I don't know why it's not downloading. Shoot, do I have another solution? Because I want to pull it up on stream and talk about some sheet music.
We could. I wouldn't even mind just like doing the whole rest of the time on sheet music.
I love it. Yeah. I think that's great. Yeah, cool. I would say pause on Carcassi 7 for now. Like, play it every now and then for fun. You know? Wait, what's that? Sorry?
You're saying pause outright? Oh, John, I don't know if I know
that might be.
It's so much fun.
That might be brutal. It is fun, but keep playing it for fun, if that makes sense.
And
like, don't throw it away. Like, it's not hurting your technique or development, I think, to keep practicing it. But don't like grind on it. I guess. Like, you've probably played video games, RPGs, or something. Like, if you stay in the first forest of Pokemon, like, you're not gonna get a Charizard or whatever, right? Like, at some point you're gonna hit diminishing returns with a thing, and it's gonna benefit you more if you start picking up other techniques, other
like
music.
The staff notation stuff.
Huge.
And Snowflight, maybe those two.
Yeah, I like Snowflight a lot for your next arpeggio piece, but we need to add in a scales piece. Because in a sense, scales are even more fundamental to guitar than arpeggios. And so we need to make sure that we get both of those going. And so if you really like the arpeggio style and you've developed some really cool arpeggio technique kind of intuitively with Carcassi 7, which, like, let's freaking go. That's the coolest thing. Like when somebody learns through motivation and whatnot, you could start picking up Snowflight as well, but it should be secondary, like a secondary project.
I hear what you're saying. That's another arpeggio piece. Maybe we want to prioritize finding a scales piece.
Yeah. All right. So I'm just pulling up this. For you to see it, also I need to share screen on Zoom.
I think I can pull it up on my end.
Okay. Do you have the link? I have that. Yeah, here. You should have Google Drive access to this, and I'll just DM it to you. This link. Let me know if you see that.
I see it.
Great.
Pulling it up.
Okay, so now I'm going to if I can get this to work, switch the YouTube back to desktop. All right, so dope. On page 5, printed page 5, there is a diagram of, in some sense, like the default recommended position for a guitarist. Try reading that and try to follow that a bit closer. And so you'll see, yeah, I mean, his guitar is like a little bit lower than I was thinking. It's like pretty much exactly like what you were most recently showing, I think.
Right.
But then there's like some notes about like 3 points of contact, like your chest, your right leg, and your left leg or something. I don't know. Yeah, like it's a pretty cool diagram with like some details and whatnot. But I do want to get to reading. So this is going to be a really great book for you to start to learn, notation and everything.
I'll order it today.
What's it called? Heck yeah. It's worth it to have a paper copy. Duncan, I'll send you a link, but Duncan. Yeah. All right, so let's try to like scroll through together. You'll also notice like on page 11, it's so important that he even talks about fingernails on before anything else. Printed page 12. How much of this do you know? Like staff lines, treble clef, the notes on those lines, the spaces.
It's hard for me to, I'll try to communicate it in a concise way, which is to say, I have a pretty decent conceptual understanding of how it works as far as I recognize that
it's okay if the answer is none of it.
It's not none.
Like
it's
people,
I know that depending on the notation with like sharps and flats, the notes that are represented by the lines and the spaces are going to change a little bit.
Yeah.
I have this thing in my mind, which is that like when I first learned it a little bit, there's like this middle G that like is easy for me to recognize. It's the second line from the top.
Yeah. Okay.
And then there's like various other pieces of, high is high and low is low, and like also like treble and bass clef I have a very basic understanding of, but everything I just said, like that's pretty much it, especially on the guitar. Like I was learning a little bit of theory and staff on the piano just because there's more just easy pedagogy for that online, but anyway, that's where I am at with it.
Cool. So you've dabbled a little bit. Only other instrument you've tried reading music with is the piano.
Right.
Or did I miss another? Okay.
No, for sure. Yeah.
All right, great. That's all incredibly helpful info for me. And now I have a better picture. On this page, though, like just these concepts, like, do you feel comfortable that like E is the first line, G is the second line, B, D, F? And do you know an acronym to remember those? Shoot, I lost.
The only one that feels like I see it and I go, yeah, that one I knew was G. The other ones I feel like I could memorize this. Like I feel like I could memorize these notes and or this key pretty quickly.
Dope.
But I only one I know is G. I feel like I learned an acronym ages ago, but I don't know it right now.
Yeah, I feel you. Okay. So treble clef is what most instruments are written in. That's the second symbol. And guitar is in treble clef. Since you mentioned G, I just wanted to point out, like, in the treble clef, there's that curly thing at the end of it, or whatever. It circles G on the staff. Yeah. So that's how you remember it.
My 12-year-old brain, like, latched onto that one fact.
Yeah, I think I was distracted. Maybe I was dueling or whatever, but like I don't think I learned that when I started out. And I never played another instrument like piano, which has bass clef, but for all of them, the symbol, like the center of the symbol somehow is circling G. So you can translate and know where G is for different clefs. We don't need to talk about different clefs today, but every good boy does fine is the standard. Was it. Yeah.
Every good boy does fine. I've heard that.
Yeah, and so this book wants to be cute, and he says every guitarist begins doing fine. That sounds like an asshole teacher or something. Every guitarist begins good, and then they lose their way.
Slowly.
Yeah. That's what it sounds like. So just forget that. Like it's every good boy does fine. and that'll help you remember, the lines. And then there's no real acronym. The other one's just face. Think of a face, I guess. I don't know why. All right, so the lines are E, G, B, D, F. Every good boy does fine. The spaces in between are F, A, C, E. Right. So moving on to the next page. Let's see. Measure bar lines. So bar lines, in most music, the standard time signature is 4/4. Like 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Like so much music. And these bar lines are separating, like when I said 1, 2, 3, 4, then the next measure you start another 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Those measure bar lines are separating those. Quarter notes match, especially in the 4/4 time signature, the quarter note gets the beat. So 1, 2, 3, 4 means each of those quarter note symbols is one beat. 4/4. Let me know if I should go faster or slower or anything like that.
Maybe you can go a hair faster here. Great. Just because the measures and the beats, I think the terminology is kind of new to me, like quarter notes and eighth notes. I definitely, it's good to get a reminder, but the beat making actually in the DAW and Ableton, it's very helpful with like measures, bars, beats, that type of stuff is familiar. So
okay, half notes, whole notes. Half notes get 2 beats, whole notes get 4. On the next page, we've got open strings 1, 2, and 3. So now here you're going to sight read your first piece of music.
Oh boy.
The first one is first string E. So you're going to use, in guitar notation, the letter I above that first E means to play with the index finger. And I think you know this, but count out loud as you do this and play index, middle, and say 1, 2, 3, 4 on the open first string.
Okay. Can you hear?
Yeah.
Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Go on to
2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hell yeah. All right, bucket list, achievement completed. You've read some sheet music, man.
Yeah!
Let's go, dude.
I sight read something.
Yeah, you sight read.
It's interesting, like somehow, I don't know why, just the technique already feels harder while I'm also sight reading at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
Or I don't know, or maybe it's just that this is showing me like, hey, you need to practice just like simple little things like this for them to feel good too,
Well, inherently you're reading new information and you're looking at something else. You don't have this, beautiful song memorized.
Right.
Like, so it takes extra processing to be reading at the same time. And so
yeah, totally.
Yeah, like sight reading itself is a skill. So not only did you play something from sheet music, but you also sight read it, which is even harder. So that's kind of cool. And I gave you the hard mode of like count out loud while you do it. So there were like all of these different levels of difficulty, and you nailed it like first time. So
thank you. The counting feels really intuitive. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just from the DAW stuff for the last 6 years, but like that feels really comfortable for me.
Yeah. Dope. I mean, but like connecting the voice with like as you play the guitar and as you practice something, the earlier you do that and get into the habit of it, the better. So let's do the same thing with the second string B exercise.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, I's and M's went away.
That's fine. Same. Always alternate.
Oh, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Nice.
I think I might have done the second row wrong because like the I and M's going away suddenly.
Yeah. Duncan just like snuck that in like to like, oh, let's make it a little harder. By now the student like notice that this time he doesn't have the little curly arrow like continue to the next staff.
Right.
And so that was one harder thing, and then he drops. Yeah.
If I'm alternating, should I have started the second row on M, or should I go back to starting it on I?
M, because
started on M.
The most recent finger was I, and so at least now there's no reason, unless there's a good reason, which there are times that you should repeat a finger. The default that you want to shoot for is to alternate and not repeat the same finger twice in a row. So, do you know the difference between a rest stroke and a free stroke?
Yes.
Cool.
But only recently, because I hear all of you guys talking about it, and I'm like, I should know the difference between that.
Yeah. So, I think you were playing it free stroke, but correct me if I'm wrong.
I was playing it free stroke.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's do it again. This time, try it rest stroke. Have you? Okay. Can you play a rest stroke? Do you know how to, or do you just know what it is? I think so.
Yeah. I think it's. I'm a little. I was practicing it for Carcassi 7 specifically on like this part.
That part is hard.
This part.
Yeah.
So I practiced the rest stroke.
Yeah.
For that.
Yeah.
For that one, which is with the thumb. But I remember thinking it felt more difficult with the index fingers. But I should try it. I can try it.
Awesome. Now a couple notes like. There were little hesitations, especially on beat 4 in a couple of measures. So keep an eye out for that. And try it this time, rest stroke.
Okay. Yeah. 1. Oh man, that's hard. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hell yeah. I didn't notice any mistakes. I mean, if somebody's like nitpicking, you can always find something to improve, but I didn't notice anything to like mention to you, so nice job.
Something I noticed a little bit, my wrist was creeping up.
Oh, okay. So, like, I was reading the music, not watching. Yeah.
Well, I felt it in my wrist, which is funny. The other thing is, with this rest stroke, I noticed I wanted to keep my thumb, I wanted to use my thumb on the low E to like anchor my hand, whereas when I'm playing free stroke, usually I don't have my thumb down. Does that... Like, would you recommend having my thumb down here to help anchor while I'm playing rest stroke? Or should I have no points of contact, which feels harder?
You know, it's a little annoying when somebody says it, but it's like, the answer is yes, right? Like, at some level, you want to be able to do all of those things. Because some music requires you to have your finger in the air. Like, you want the bass note, the bass strings to continue ringing, maybe.
Exactly.
Other times you want to prepare a thumb for one reason or another.
Oh man. Okay,
so I like, Like I personally don't anchor on the 6th string as much, but that's my personal preference. Like I should be practicing that more, in fact. Let's try that one again, or if you want, we could move on to the 3rd string exercise, just for slight more variation.
Sure. Yeah.
But this time, do rest stroke, and this time, you know what? I'm gonna make this like, can I make this like super hard mode?
Challenge me, yes.
All right.
I love challenges.
Heck yeah. I want to see the first line free stroke and the second line rest stroke.
Okay.
Okay. Now, another challenge. Thumb on the 5th string this time, not on the 6th.
Thumb on the 5th string.
Yeah.
For the breaststroke, you mean?
Try it for both.
For both. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Or you're more comfortable doing thumb for rest stroke and thumb in air for free stroke. Let's keep it that way.
No. I think it feels free stroke feels okay with thumb down too.
Now that you've tried it.
I think I'm just more used to free stroke in general, but
okay, up to you.
Okay.
But yeah.
Free stroke first line, rest stroke second line,
Yep.
G string, thumb on the 5th string. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Nice, dude. Nice. Awesome.
It was definitely trickier.
Yeah. I mean, there's like extra variables. Was it trickier because of the switch from free to rest or because of the thumb on 5th string?
Both. I noticed like in between the two, and then I was like, okay, I have to switch from free to rest. And then also I was like, oh, but like my thumb is on 5, and for a second I had my fingers were confused. They were like, wait, when we rest, are we gonna land on the same string that my thumb is resting on? But wait, no, there's one in between.
Yeah, there's one
and then I was like, okay, cool. So it's good because I think with the rest stroke, my instinct is to have the thumb as far away as possible, but I could see that sometimes it might be advantageous to basically just to be able to do any and all of it. And I'm like, oh, okay, like, yeah, I can do it this way too.
Yeah. So if it's tricky for you to do the thumb on the inner strings, I mean, this time it was just from 6th to 5th, but if, let's say as homework, try the 1st string E later and do the thumb on the 3rd string. So in general, when you can, skip a string with the thumb. For the reason that you brought up, that if you're doing rest stroke, then your fingers would be going to the same one that the thumb is on, and that can cause some issues with rest stroke.
Right.
But try that later.
Cool.
For now, with the 3rd string G, I wasn't watching because my eyes can only be in one place. I wasn't watching the sheet music as much because I can tell that difference between quarter and rest, or a quarter and a half notes. Now, switching from free to rest, I was watching for your wrist issue that you mentioned, and I didn't notice it as much.
Cool.
But the thing that I want to point out is that when you go from a free stroke like this to a rest stroke, bring your hand back to do it. So, like, pull your arm.
That's so much easier.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Oh my, that's crazy how much that changes the feeling of the rest stroke.
Right. So that is...
Because my instinct was to keep the hand in the exact same position, but...
Yeah. Yeah, now it feels more comfortable. Like, so that's, you're like, this is harder to do it rest stroke, or to switch, and it's because of that. Like, so try that one again, just...
Sure.
Yeah. Try that one again, and this time, pull the arm back. Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Nice.
So much easier.
There you go.
That's crazy.
Cool, man. All right, so this is just going to be your key to practicing reading music, and it just starts from the beginning, just open strings, and it just works its way up. So I really do believe in learning music in a project-based way, and like learning and like having goals and motivation. Like, I want to learn Carcassi 7. I want to learn Carcassi 1 or whatever. And so I want you to start working through this book as a method, because there's methods that teach all the technique and talk about technique and teaching these concepts, like what is a rest stroke, what is a free stroke. And then when you're ordering this book, also order this one. I've mentioned it. RCM preparatory level rep and etudes. Not sponsored yet. But this doesn't have any teaching in it. It doesn't have any pedagogy. It's just a collection of music. And this is a stupid joke, but like it's technically called RCM preparatory level, but I call it RCM 0. And
RCM 0.
Because I'm a programmer. And so like just this, I think I would hold off on to start actually doing, other than the one that you could try sooner, like maybe before our next lesson. Learn the sore hands theme, dude. Like, that is in this book.
Snap.
Like no joke.
Okay.
And I mean, it's a classic. It is a classic piece called like To Learn the Notes. Like, it was written.
Wow, okay.
It was written by Soar literally to learn the notes on the guitar, and it's the beginning of his collection of didactic teaching pieces, as I understand it.
Okay.
Try this thing, learn it as an etude, practice it both free stroke and rest stroke. If you wanted, because you know the sound of it, it's a good idea to like try to learn things by ear, I think.
Yeah.
You might be able to have like a project of like learn the notes yourself, like try to figure out where is that first note, like there's a 1, which means the first finger, but like try to find that on the guitar if you want to take that challenge. Otherwise, you can work your way up, and this is probably in this Duncan book somewhere, and like go more systematically. Some people are more motivated one way versus the other, and I really believe in doing both. Like,
so you mean like listen to the etude and then go and look at the sheet music and go, okay, by ear, that means this first note is this right here. Which is
but while you're listening to it, be looking at the sheet music too, if that makes sense, and like try to do both at the same time. Like,
I love this idea. I think my ear is like far more developed than most other parts of my music theory skill toolbox. So I'm gonna
yeah, man, I think it's a cool project. Like, just I don't know, my brain is broken by being a creator right now. I'm like, dude, that would be a cool video.
No, I know. I already had the same thought, John, where like a couple times, especially as you're giving me homework, I'm like, ooh, like that
could be a cool video.
That might make
like,
a good
if you want it. Yeah. Like, no joke. Try this thing.
Brain.
Yeah, I know. It's just but like, there's repeat structures in this, and you'll learn that intuitively and like figure out without Duncan teaching you like top down or something. Like, you'll learn by listening to the sore hands theme or whatever. Like, oh, this symbol here with dots means to come back over here. You restart that section.
You told me that one. You told me that about the Carcassi 7, because the second part you're supposed to repeat.
Yeah, you learned it there. That's right.
Yeah.
Do not look up tabs for this thing. Start only sheet music for something as simple as this. That's like cheating. That's like the back of the book.
Yeah.
It's too easy.
I think generally, like, I don't feel too strongly about the two, but in the context of trying to learn staff notation, it's like, no. Like,
right.
Not
like,
the point of this.
I wouldn't stop you from like trying to tackle Carcassi 7 now with tabs if you wanted, but the point of this is really to learn the music and to learn to learn this like notation, and Last
which I'm
thing
super interested in. Yeah.
Yeah. Last thing to like connect with what we were just talking about, the way that you switched from free stroke to rest stroke across lines, do that on the repeat structures. Try to learn it, play it free stroke the first time, and then when you repeat that section, play it rest stroke.
Man. I didn't realize that those two were that it's like that. I kind of assumed like free stroke was way more common and rest stroke was like sometimes used for like extra drama, but it makes sense hearing you say it. It's just like, yeah, you want to be able to do all the stuff with each hand to be able to do any amount of any of the techniques at any time, you know? So
completely. And like not just as an exercise, like, oh, this is good for me, I'm lifting weights or climbing walls or whatever the hell you all do. It's like that can add musicality, like more musicality to this thing. It's really important that in music, like if you repeat something, like don't give the audience the exact same thing that they just heard. They're like, oh, I heard this before, I recognize this, but it's just like ever so slightly different and I don't know what it is. But it sounds nice and there's something new and a little bit different. It's just one paintbrush, you know, in like your tool set, like to be able to switch back and forth between free and rest. So that's kind of a cool way to connect the two here. Like, yeah, we touched a bit. You've sight read something. We talked a bit about nails. Everybody's number one topic. Try no nails. You know, the next opportunity that makes sense. Like, try it, dude. Like,
I think I will. I think it'll be interesting now that I'm actually starting to like my ear can appreciate some of the tonal qualities of playing with nails, and then like now when I go back to no nails, I'll be like, oh, okay, I can actually tell a little bit what's going on at least. But this has been an awesome lesson. I'm really excited to tackle some of the homework that you've given me. I'm really excited to like start learning how to read.
Heck yeah.
So
yeah, dude. Yeah, this was super fun, dude. Any last minute questions before we wrap it up?
I feel like okay, I guess, like just a brief, like, how percentage-wise, your recommendation, how much of my daily guitar time, like, what percentage would you recommend being my, like, fun playing Carcassy time? And how much being my, like, like, practicing reading staff or sort of like really getting into the sort of technical basics.
Okay, so yeah, I got 5 minutes. Let's so just not going over that. I would say in your mind really separate out time for fun from time for guitar, and it's just like a subtle nuance detail here, but like you can play that piece and it's awesome and it is fun, and I don't want to like say pause it because you're not. I don't think, from what I can tell, maybe this is a Chris pedagogy thing someday, but like I don't think you're developing bad habits with that piece at the moment. Like you've gotten a lot of feedback from myself and others.
Thanks to y'all.
Yeah. But like, yeah, man, have fun with it. Like, don't try to treat it like you should only be, you know, doing the boring stuff because that's better for you, for your progress. Like, you know, if you want to get paid to do concerts next month or something, stop that. Well, maybe, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to be progressing as fast as possible, then maybe pause that and let's add in something else so that you're learning something new and learning different techniques. But like, dude, just have fun with it. At the end of the day, this instrument's
I think I'm going to target like 50-50-ish.
If you want to, it's just like how much of the day do you want dedicated to progressing?
Right.
You know, as an adult learner
playing the guitar.
What's that? Sorry.
Right. Just like how much of the day or how much of the guitar time is spent like focused on progression and how much is spent focused on enjoying a piece that I've poured a bunch of time into. You know, they're kind of different things. Both are fun, but it's just being about intentional, right? About like which one I'm investing a little more time into right now. Which I'm willing to admit that I've done a lot of time on Carcassi, and I think I'm ready to dial it back a little and like spend a little more time focusing on some of this, like real pedagogical staff notation stuff. So
yeah,
it's good advice. It's not a simple, easy answer.
Yeah, there's
like
no.
I always want, but
the only answer I'm gonna give here is like not 100%, 0%.
Okay.
Like,
yeah,
that's anything in between is kind of up to you and your goals.
Sure.
And
cool.
As an adult, you're setting your own goals, and everything is customized to what you want to be getting out of this.
Cool. Okay, yeah, that's a good answer. Yeah.
But yeah, keep playing it for fun for sure. But you are at the point of diminishing returns.
Yeah,
on it.
yeah.
It's not going to get a lot better. Like, which is okay. Like, play it because it's fun and nice to play. I'm hitting diminishing returns with like Valse 3 or Capriccio Arabe or something. Like, they're pretty good, but they're not getting that much better by playing it more. I'm playing them because I'm starting to do concerts, and that's a different intention. But like to progress and develop as a guitarist, I'm doing other things. So.
The very last thing, super quick, is just that there's an allegory here with climbing, and in climbing they call it because it's like I think there's a similar amount of like power creep type vibe where with grades they get higher and higher, and then like the amount of hours it takes to go from one grade to the next, like the higher you get, it's like exponentially increasing hours.
Completely.
And they have this thing where it's like sometimes you might like find a certain climb or a certain style that like really suits you, and you spend a ton of time working it and you get it, and it's like way above your usual kind of climbing grade range, and you're like, oh, I can climb that hard now. But then like, no, actually it's not really like that. And really what's best to like float your overall technique and pursuit is, at least if you're focusing on progress, is to like build your pyramid, they call it, where you go back down and you like do a bunch at the like lowest grade. And then you do like slightly less, but still a ton at the next grade up, and you kind of have this pyramid of like experience and breadth of pursuit, kind of approaching your max ability. Which it's like you got to fill in the pieces underneath it to really start to move that pyramid in any meaningful way. But...
So don't pause on Duncan. Don't pause on Carcassi 7, and also don't pause on. Like start to listen to playlists of this music, I'd say. And for right now, think of Duncan is one, focus. The Soar Etude is another, and then the third is keep maintaining Carcassi 7, because it's a nice piece of music and people enjoy hearing it and you have fun playing it. So,
yay!
Awesome, dude. This was a really fun lesson.
It was.
Would love to do it again soon. Just let me know.
I'd love to. Let's keep in touch, and I mean, like tentatively, every 2 weeks kind of works for me. But like, we'll keep a dialogue, and yeah,
dude.
I read something today.
Yeah, this is fun. We've got a bunch of people in the chat. Chat's a little quiet right now, so I don't know if. This is very niche content, y'all, so I recognize that. I think
we're building it up. Don't worry.
Yeah,
we'll have 1,000 viewers on our live lesson streams one day.
Heck yeah! Mujo Academy forming.
Mujo Academy.
Yeah. All right. Well, cheers, dude. I hope you have an awesome day, and see you next time. And see you on the internet. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. See you in chat.
Yeah. Later, man. Yeah. Take it easy. Oops. I have to like close two things.
Yeah, me too. Always a bunch of tabs. Okay, later.
All right, what's up, y'all? I hope you enjoyed that lesson. That was really freaking fun. I think we're all getting better at this all the technology involved in something like this right now. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care. I stream Leo. Leo streams sometimes, but he more uploads videos. Really awesome guy, really awesome creator. And take care. See you next time. Bye.